Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. I want to read you this from Gallup, and it's something that people aren't really paying attention to, and it's something that everyone should realize and appreciate. Now you have people who, you have Democrats, liberals, people who cannot stand Trump, and they can't fathom how anyone would vote for Trump. The issues they have revolve around this kind of narcissism, that they are the ones who are not only the most moral and virtuous, but they're the ones who know what's right for the country. Nobody else does. Everyone else is immoral. Everyone else is being duped by Trump. He's never done anything good. He worked with Russia. This is his fault, although Governor Andrew Cuomo and Gavin Newsom, in their State of the State addresses in January and February, same with Whitmer and Inslee in Michigan and Washington, in January and February, not only didn't budget, because they set out their budgets at that time for their own states, not only didn't budget money for ventilators or masks, okay, but didn't even address any of the issues we face today. They did not address the crisis. They didn't address any supplies they needed. And they certainly didn't tell the federal government or President Trump that they were lacking in terms of certain aspects pertaining to healthcare that relate directly to this crisis. Why didn't they do so? By the way, to my super chat, thank you so very much. You give me every incentive, ladies and gentlemen, to rock these live streams. Thank you so much. And I know that in these very bizarre times, there are other ways to spend your money if you want to support my voice. I thank you very much. Governor Andrew Cuomo, Governor Gavin Newsom, Eric H526. Hello, HA, you fought that. HA derangement syndrome. That's awesome. Orange Grove 55, I'd be honored. Possible HA Stick Selection collabo, that'd be fantastic. I would love to, I know he has a live stream, so I'd love to be a guest. We've done a collabo before. But yeah, I mean, you look at this is first and foremost. Andrew Cuomo is now America's governor. Okay? Now, I'm going to get to President Trump's approval rating up 6 points among Democrats to 13 points. 1 out of 3 Democrats. 1 out of 3. Technically over 1 out of 3, 1 out of 10, sorry. 1 out of 10 Democrats. 1 out of 10 Democrats have a positive approval rating of what President Trump has accomplished thus far. That is with all the negative press. He is now up 40. He's at 13% among Democrats in terms of approval. It went up. In March, he was at 7%. From March 2nd to March 13th, according to Gallup, he was at 7%. That went up to 13%. That's with Twitter and social media. Like, just constantly spreading negativity about Trump. Kathy Du Bois, thank you so very much, Kathy. Kathy, greatly appreciated. Thank you. Kathy, be here in November when President Trump defeats Hillary Clinton for the second election in a row. Kathy, thank you so very much. Greatly appreciated, Kathy. Thank you. Jay White, thank you. If you look at Gallup, and then we'll get to Andrew Cuomo and Gavin Newsom, his approval rating has gone up. So when Democrats say, "Oh, you have a record low approval rating. Oh my God, look at this. Look at the polls. Look at it." Well, look at the polls. It's not just Gallup, by the way. There are 4 other polls: ABC News, a Harris poll. There's a Emerson poll. There's a whole bunch of polls that show President Trump is up. Was he perfect? If you want to say he wasn't perfect, that's fine. No president is perfect through a crisis. Did he do what he needed to do to calm the average American, to give hope to the average American? That's important. The federal government now is giving $6 trillion, $4 trillion from the Federal Reserve in the form of loans, and $2.2 trillion. It's the largest stimulus package in the history of the United States. What more can he do? If you say, well, you know what, he totally messed up the initial planning. Well, initial planning. First of all, he's not the governor of New York. There are states. The hardest hit state is New York. Okay. Do you think it would be hit as hard if Andrew Cuomo had looked into the future like 3 or 4 weeks? Democrats in general tried to impeach Trump in the Senate in January. They were spending all their energy on an endeavor that had zero chance of taking place. Zero chance of taking place. They spent all their energy on something that had zero chance of taking place. So, Kathy, thank you again. And instead of focusing on the current crisis, which was only weeks away, months away, in January, Andrew Cuomo had a State of the State speech to the people of New York, all 20 million people in New York. And there was zero mention of ventilators, zero mention of masks, zero mention of the current crisis, zero mention of the healthcare crisis. Why is that? Then they blame Trump. Then they say, well, the intelligence community notified Trump. Well, why didn't the intelligence community notify Congress? Why didn't they leak that information the way they leaked the Steele dossier and everything to do with Trump-Russia, which was nonsense? He never worked with Russia to hack the DNC to inform the country Bernie was cheated. Bernie Sanders should have had the guts and the courage and the spine and the chutzpah and the integrity and the honesty to tell everyone that he was cheated by the Democratic Party, to admit that he was cheated, to save us from 4 years of this nonsense. Trump worked with Russia. We need a special counsel. And then they went back to Bernie and said, oh yeah, Russia wants Bernie Sanders. And Hillary Clinton said that, who will be the nominee in 2020 and lose again to Trump, that Tulsi Gabbard's a Russian operative. The Russians don't care about the Democratic Party. If anything, they love the Democratic Party. Every single computer they had apparently was hacked by Russia. So why wouldn't Russia? Why wouldn't Russia want Democrats? Why wouldn't Russia want Democrats? If you're a foreign adversary, and there's one political party you can't infiltrate from a cybersecurity perspective, but there's another political party that everything they touch is like an open gate, an open door. Every computer they have is basically, here you go, foreign countries. Who do you fear more? And then you get 20% of U.S. uranium capacity that President Obama could have vetoed. What are they afraid of? They wanted the remaining 80%? They were so upset? They were so afraid? So in the Washington Post, they said, oh, well, the intelligence community warned Trump. No, they didn't. Because if you look, you just click on the link. It's to another Post article that says, unofficial people who are close to the story. Officials speaking with through anonymity. You can say that anywhere. You could say H.A. Goodman visited Mars, according to people familiar with the matter. You can say anything you want. You can say anything you want, according to people familiar with the matter. According to unnamed sources, H.A. Goodman and 20 Hawaiian tropic models flew to Mars to create a colony, according to people familiar with the matter. Which, by the way, wouldn't be a bad thing. According to people familiar with the matter. So, ladies and gentlemen, every single article nowadays is people on condition of anonymity, people familiar with the matter, experts say. That's it. That's all you hear nowadays. That is what's called journalism. That is what's called journalism. Ronald, hello. Hello, Ronald. Hope all is well. Kathy, thank you again. So, you have to understand, it's not just the fact that he's up 7 points or 6 points among Democrats to 13% approval and 8 points among independents to 43% approval. Okay? You have to also understand that he's doing so within the context of immense of vitriol and venom and constant negativity. Bucolic Buffalo! If Mini Mike couldn't buy an election with $500 million, how could Russia with 100,000 in Facebook ads? Exactly. And the thing is, the vague nature of the allegation that's what helps Democrats and media and liberals. And notice, by the way, progressives, I used to think who knows even what that means? What is a progressive? Who knows? Is it somebody that believes that James Comey set up Trump? Or is it somebody that believes that American soldiers should be brought home from never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts? That's what President Trump is doing. President Trump is doing that right now. Nobody is talking about that. This is the main reason I support President Trump, because his foreign policy is the foreign policy that Bernie Sanders wishes he could have. He's withdrawing Americans from America's longest-running counterinsurgency conflict. Just weeks ago, he struck a deal to withdraw Americans. And instead of praising Trump, nobody says a thing. Nobody says a thing. Why is that? Why can't the left, even progressives? Well, actually, that's, you know what? The only thing that many people on the far left have praised Trump on is the $6 trillion stimulus package. So that's something that they're actually giving Trump praise. But the intense vitriol, the venom, it doesn't look. They don't like his personality. That's it. They don't like his personality. That's what it comes down to. President Trump is infinitely better than President Obama in terms of foreign policy, in terms of his response to domestic issues. Could you imagine if President Trump presided over a failed NATO intervention that actually obliterated the country? What kind of theories, what kind of statements on Twitter, political theories would that? I'm kind of speaking in terms of a roundabout, algorithmically friendly manner. But what kind of condemnation would President Trump have received compared to what President Obama didn't receive? There's a country now that has been in utter turmoil since President Obama's failed NATO intervention. And we don't hear anything about that foreign policy from the left. Nothing. We don't hear anything. From 2011 until today, the country that President Obama stated he was going to save and protect has now been mired in chaos and mayhem. And it's been completely obliterated. Virtually. There are still regions that are somewhat functioning, but not. So what do you hear? You hear nothing. What did President Trump do that's even close to that? I want to know. Oh, well, he says a lot of things, and he speaks to people subliminally, and you don't understand President Trump and his orange. He has this orange aura where he speaks to really bad people, and those bad people wouldn't have done bad things had he not spoken to them, because those bad people didn't exist with previous presidents. He's just a bad person. Oh, okay. So you're a good person if you drink Flint water? One of the most popular presidents in the Democratic Party's history drank Flint water while it was still poisonous. And then all you get is articles, why a good-natured move to drink Flint water didn't work out. Aw, gee, media. You're all so wonderful. Such intrepid reporting. Why a good-natured move to drink water that was still harmful to one's health just didn't work out. News at 11. Gosh. That's interesting. Why President Obama tried his best to just drink water contaminated with lead in an effort to just calm everyone's nerves. In fact, you should be thanking him, because it was he who took such a big risk. So, you look at the way media deals with President Trump, and it's like, then they're like, did you see what Trump said? Did you see what Trump said? He shouldn't be president. It's like, did you see what Biden said? They're like totally, they're in their own world. They don't see that Biden is there. This is a complete and utter charade. They don't see that Biden is there strictly to allow Clinton. And God bless Hillary Clinton. God bless Hillary Clinton. I want Clinton to run every 4 years. Hillary Clinton you're talking about somebody who's honest in treachery. I want somebody honest in treachery. Now, of course, I'm voting for President Trump. I'm a Trump supporter. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. And the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post, every single one of the articles I wrote, over 100 of them, that was published in the Hill of the Huffington Post and Salon, they were all given a stamp of approval by the editors, by every one of the editors at those publications. At those publications. And now I'm voting for President Trump because he's a great president. he goes up against very corrupt intelligence officials that set him up with a dossier purchased by his direct political rival. And when they lose again, you're going to see probably the most euphoric moment for the majority of the country. It'll be just euphoria, because you're going to see not only a melt. Did you think that the Jacob Javits Center? Did you think that the meltdown when they lost in 2016 was like monumental? It will be like just losing a regular season game in the beginning of a baseball season. Like, they won't. What you will see from the left is going to be something like, I don't even know how to describe it. But you're gonna witness something that you don't usually see. The majority of people on the left, the Democratic Party, the media, they're gonna have to look in the mirror and say, "Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. We are actually at fault here. We are actually at fault here." And if anybody says, well, President Obama drank Flint water and, let's see. That was May 4th, 2016. It wasn't until April of 2018 that the state of Michigan closed water point distribution centers that provided residents of Flint for the past 3 years with bottled water to drink, cook, and bathe. How many major crises took place under the previous administration? And it was never the fault of the administration. Never the fault. It was never the fault. If something happens at the edge of the galaxy, it's Trump knew, he knew it, it's his fault, he knew it, and everything's orange. Everything's bad and orange. It's bad, it's orange. It's like you have to take things into context. When looking at President Trump, you have to take things into context. You can't look at approval ratings without taking things into context. You can't look at approval ratings for Trump and look at approval ratings for other presidents. At this point in their presidencies, they virtually have the same approval rating on average, according to Real Clear Politics. It's around 47% on average in the aggregate. On average. And then the rebuttal is not, oh my God, he has around 47%, which is exactly around what President Obama had at this point in March of 2012, according to Real Clear Politics. The rebuttal is not, the response is not, wow, I mean, Trump was able to do this despite all the overwhelmingly negative media coverage, simply out of spite, because 98% of the journalists did not walk into work with a Make America Great Again hat. You're talking about people. I know people on the left, believe me. And I know different variations of President Trump's orange monster derangement issues. There's different levels. I know the absolute worst, and I know all the different variations in between. Believe me, it's frightening. It is frightening. Because it's actually, It says something about the individual. It doesn't say something about President Trump or even about politics in general. It says something about the individual. God, like, he's able to achieve these approval ratings during a time of crisis when you would think perhaps, if media is right, that he completely botched, he completely ignored, he completely messed up the response. One would think that his approval rating would tank. Isn't it obvious how horrible he's been? Oh my God! Oh, but the opposite's true. So then what do they go to? It's the rally around the country phenomenon. This is a phenomenon, don't you understand? This is a phenomenon, ladies and gentlemen. Really what happens is any president is going to gain an approval rating when there's a crisis. Come on. I mean, really. Any president's going to gain an approval. I mean, seriously, come on. I mean, do you really think he's not going to gain? Washington Post, CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, social media in general. My God. So, I mean, you have to take things into context. Nobody, most people, thank you, Felix. Thank you, Felix. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. Come on, man. Most people. Now we're gonna get to Biden. Come on, you know the deal, man. Could you imagine Biden negotiating a price for a car? He goes into a car dealership. Hey, Samal, come on, man. Hey, fat, you fat, come on. Hey, Toyota Corolla. Come on now, Father's Buick, huh? This ain't your father's Buick. Come on, man, you know the deal. I'm here to buy a Toyota Corolla. I want to make the cure worse than the problem, man. Come on, man, you know the deal. You know the deal, man. No financing down. Come on. I'm going to take your AM/PM 13s. I'm running for Senate. And you know the deal, man. Not going to put money down. And you know the deal. Not going to put money down. Not going to put money down, fat. I'm here to buy the Toyota Corolla. The deal, man. What's going to happen is the entire apparatus that Biden is building, which, by the way, is not nearly as strong as Clinton's, as the apparatus that Clinton will end up with. So you have two Democratic groups form alliance to support Joe Biden. Yeah. First of all, Biden's campaign is run by former Hillary Clinton officials. Second of all, there's no way that there's no way at all that Biden is going to be nominee. The whole thing is an absolute charade. The whole thing is an absolute charade and a farce and a theatrical performance. They're not going with Biden, but he is doing the heavy lifting, and he's getting hooked up big time because all the potential corruption that he's engaged in, forcing a prosecutor out. Oh, but that prosecutor wasn't looking at corruption, so that has nothing to do with Biden. How on earth does that justify Biden forcing a prosecutor out? How on earth does that justify the vice president forcing a prosecutor out of the while his son's on the board of directors of a corrupt energy company. Oh, nothing to see here. Oh, nothing at all. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then they're like, oh, he went after the vice president's campaign. It's like, no. President Trump would pay $400 million of his own money to actually keep Biden. If Biden is the nominee, which he won't be, it'll be Hillary Clinton. This is all a charade. Well, how is it going to happen? I don't know. How can she be? And then everybody turns into Harry Carey. How can she be running if Biden's the nominee? Because he's not the nominee, Harry. How can it happen? But those are the rules. There are no rules. Haven't you read the DNC emails? Go read them. You know what? They were published by the New York Times. The Russians wanted you to read them. Well, then why did the Washington Post and New York Times publish them? Are all those journalists and editors there part of Russian intelligence? Who believes this? What kind of imbecile believes this nonsense? Oh, that's right. Millions of Democrats. We really lost because the Russians wanted us to lose. No, they don't even care. Believe me. They look at Democrats the way everyone else looks at Biden. But, hey man, come on now, corn pop people now. Smell on your brother. And my leg hair get hot. It get hot. Lotion. Come on, people now. Smell on your brother. If you look at, let's just say, well, he's not going to be, but let's say it was 232-306. Okay? Biden does not win Colorado. I don't care. His stance on issues important to people in Colorado, it ain't going to happen. So that's 9 less. So I have no clue why it says 232-306. If you look, because I think President Trump won by a greater margin, but let's just here. I think there were some electors that went to Clinton. Who knows? But on the real clear politics, on the 270 to win, it says 232-306 Trump. Biden would lose Colorado. Okay. 315 and 223. He would lose Nevada. Because Nevada residents, they might lean to the left, but if it's Biden, like, they're not going to be duped. So it would be 321 to 217, okay? He could lose even Minnesota. He could actually lose Minnesota. Minnesota was pretty close. It would be 331 to 207. Now check it out. Biden could actually, he wouldn't even get the popular vote. I think that he would lose Colorado and Nevada, but he would also lose Virginia and Minnesota. If he loses Virginia, it would be 344 to 194. And that's with the added electors that 270 to win added to the Democrats. But 344 to 194. 344 to 194. They would just, they would win. It would just be a handful of states. Washington, Oregon, California, Illinois, New York. All the Northeast, but they would not win any swing states. They would not win Florida with Biden. Florida, Democrats, not... Okay, this is how you know Clinton's going to be nominee. You need a tremendous turnout in Florida for Democrats to even think of becoming... of gaining the presidency again. You need a tremendous turnout. You need a tremendous turnout. You need a tremendous turnout. You need voter turnout. You need voters to get into the cars, go to the polls, get off of work. They're not going to do that for Biden. Okay, the reason that people did that in the Democratic primary is because they despise Bernie Sanders. You have to understand, the people who despise Trump most within the Democratic Party, the ones who have the most derangement issues regarding Trump, you can ratchet it up a notch, and that's what they have with Bernie Sanders. My friends, some of my friends, well, who are no longer, I guess you could say that, but now it's just people that I used to know. Somebody that I used to know. Somebody. People that I used to know who were hardcore Democrats didn't like that I was a Bernie Sanders supporter. Not for the reasons now when you look back, oh, okay, Bernie had no courage or integrity. He didn't admit that he was cheated by the Democratic Party, not by Russia. He blamed Russian interference for all the problems Democrats have, and he didn't even address the issue that he was cheated. Which is that's the fundamental issue around everything. The fundamental issue is that he was cheated. That's the fundamental issue. That is the basis for everything that we King James, hello. That's the basis. That's the basis for Karen, hello. That's the basis for all of this. The basis for all of this is that the DNC cheated Bernie Sanders, but he didn't admit he was cheated, and they spun it to, well, and then the people on the left, the Bernie supporters of today, can't say that Trump was set up. So then they're caught in like this very bizarre realm where they don't believe the Russia story, but they can't say too many good things about Trump. They don't believe the Russia story, but if they say that Trump was set up, it's like too nice to him. It's really It's really unbelievable that I see. Look, let me tell you something. The great thing about being a Trump supporter is that I'm not a Republican, not a Democrat. I don't have any party allegiance. So I can look at the vitriol and the venom and the constant negativity and tear it apart from the perspective of somebody who really likes Trump's foreign policy compared to other presidents. From the perspective of somebody who likes the fact that Trump is going after corrupt intelligence officials. From the perspective that President Trump is doing a lot of other things that I like. I don't have to go and I'm not defending the president because of an allegiance to a political party. Democrats generally, their first and foremost loyalty resides with the Democratic Party. It is a strong presence within the psyche of these people. I'm telling you, it's like very strong. And you have a small group, very small, of vocal Bernie Sanders supporters or anarchists or socialists or whatever. People on the left, on the far left. And then they think that they're waging two battles at once. They're going after the Republicans and the bad people on the right, and they're also policing the liberals, the neoliberals. But in reality, every voice on the left, and Bernie Sanders makes sure of this, is funneled back into Clinton 2020. That's why Hillary Clinton, I love Hillary Clinton. God bless her. Fantastic. Yes, committed crimes. Treacherous, yes, but proves everything I've ever said about the left and the Democratic Party. So, and hey, Reagan ran 3 times. So, hold on, Reagan ran 3 times. Yeah, Ronald Reagan ran 3 times. How could she run 3 times? She ran 3 times. So what? Reagan ran 3 times. Okay, hold on. Years. He ran in 70. Didn't he run in 68? And then years Reagan ran for president. Why can I not find this? I know that he ran 3 times. Okay. So Ronald Reagan ran 3 times. I know that. So why is it so difficult for? Here you go. He first ran in 1968. Here, there you go. Nixon in 68. He ran against Nixon in 68, Ford in 76, and then Carter in 80. Okay? Why was that? Why is it so beyond the reason for people to believe that Madam Secretary run? She'll run again. Who cares if she loses? Who cares? Just the water. Don't call SEAL Team 6. Exactly, Jake. I agree with that also. Bibliticus BXN! Your fave Philippe Reigns was cramming us. Dempsell disaster polls in 15. Bernie Bros would go poll 15%. Bernie Bros would go for Donald Trump. You know what? I got to check that out. Bibliticus, yes, Bibliticus BXN. Thank you. I got to check that out right now. Bucolic Buffalo. Natty Bush undermined Reagan nomination 76. Tried keep. That's probably the case. That's probably the case. Bucolic Buffalo. Thank you. I think I heard that too. Bucolic Buffalo. Yeah, that's bizarre. Oh yeah. Well, in 80. Herbert Walker called President Reagan's economic plan voodoo economics, right? So, Bimbo Dickens BXN, I'm going to check that out right now. Bucolic Buffalo, thank you. Yeah, I believe that. So Ronald Reagan ran 3 times in 68, 76, and 80. Okay? So why is it so beyond a shadow of a doubt that Hillary Clinton will run 3 times? Well, of course she's going to run. You think Biden? They don't want anything to do with Biden. He's just doing the heavy lifting. Hey, some more heavy lifting. Oh. One more rep. Come on now, people now. Smell on your brother. Come on now. So Philippe Reigns is going after Ivanka Trump. That's interesting because it's like, what would he say about the reverse? But here, they're trying. This is what they're doing. They're trying to go. They think that Trump is the ultimate bully, and he is the worst person on the planet. So they're descending into madness, trying to outdo what they think Trump is. The problem is, however, that Trump has charisma behind behind most of his posts. He has a brash personality that people know is just him. They don't have that. They just look like venomous, petulant, malicious, sore losers. They don't get that. It doesn't translate. They're like, we're going to play Trump's game. It's like, no, you're not going to play Trump's game. He's not really playing a game. He's just being himself. He's a counterpuncher. You go after him. He responds. That's it. So, it will be the most amazing thing. You have to understand, this is an existential issue politically for them. If they do not win this election, do you think they're gonna also I don't know, when people they don't see Clinton running, they don't understand that it's an existential issue for the Democratic Party. They must win this election. If they don't win this election, they cease to exist as a political party. They cease to exist. They cease to exist as a political party. So they're gonna go with the best thing they have, and the best thing they have is Hillary Clinton. She's the best. She's the only hope they have. She'll lose, but she's the only hope they have. So that's hilarious. I'm reading this right now. This is hilarious. You look at you look at the way people look at the way people evaluate, the way Democrats evaluate. Boomadukas BXN. If someone had Twitter, can you send the links? I'm actually looking. Boomadukas BXN. I'm actually looking at his Twitter feed right now. So I'm trying to find. Okay, so. Oh, they're going after Bernie Sanders. They're going after Bernie Sanders. Let's see. It's really interesting. Their lives revolve around moral relativism. Well, we're bad, but you're worse. But the reality is they're infinitely worse. Compared to Trump, if they want to say, well, President Trump did this and Trump did that, you could just draw a T-chart, and every single controversy that they talk about, that they think that Trump engaged in, compare it to what they've engaged in. Is no comparison. Compare his words to what they've stated. Compare his deeds, his actions to what they've done. There's no comparison at all. There's just simply no comparison at all. Ladies and gentlemen, well, he is, and he will. He's 100%, and he will support Madam Secretary. Bernie Sanders is going to support Hillary Clinton, just like AOC and everyone else will. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be Clinton versus Trump. I will have made the biggest political call of all time. President Trump will win, but I give Clinton a 10% chance of winning. 90% President Trump. My prediction is that 90% President Trump, but Clinton will have a 10% chance of winning. And by the way, the media will say that she's up and she should win. This way, when Clinton doesn't win, they'll say, oh my God, another cheating. Oh my God, our democracy is over. Give me your thoughts below, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back probably around 8 p.m., probably 7:30, 8 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I'll be back again about 8 p.m. God bless you. God bless you to my super chat. Thank you so very much. I understand these are trying times, and to support my voice is greatly, greatly appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great, great evening. I will see you 8 p.m., around 8 p.m. Pacific. Thanks, everybody. God bless. Thank you.